Now, I love everything about this. I'm going to introduce you to an idea that I wish I had thought of. It's exactly what we need right now. And somebody who you know very, very well. You know Chris Evans. You know him as Captain America and a great actor in a lot of other roles in a career that's getting stronger and stronger. But I want to remind you of what he did recently that I think is phenomenal. Remember 6-year-old Bridger Walker saved his 4-year-old sister from a dog attack this month, and how we just love what he was about because of what he did, because it was natural in him, and it reminds us of what we can do for one another, right? He underwent surgery, 90 stitches to his face. His aunt shared the story online and noted she tagged Avengers stars and said he's a big fan. Now, that was a beautiful thing. But for Iron Man, the Hulk, Spider-Man, to all reach out, to me, that's what we are at our best. Captain America sent this to this kid, and he looked at it like he was living a dream. Watch this.
You're a hero. What you did was so brave, so selfless. Your sister is so lucky to have you as a big brother. Your parents must be so proud of you. I'm going to track down your address, and I'm going to send you an authentic Captain America shield because, pal, you deserve it. Keep being the man you are. We need people like you.
He will never forget that, and for all the right reasons. Sitting there with his little Captain America get up on. Now, Evans, I am not objective on. No, it has nothing to do with Marvel. When I was sick, he took the time to send me a video, and I'll tell you what, it helped buoy my spirits. He didn't have to do it. He did it, and I appreciate him for it. But I appreciate him even more for something else he did for you. He's founder of a new nonpartisan political website, and you have to hear about it. It's called A Starting Point, okay? And you go online, and you'll see it. Thank you very much for what you did for me, brother, and thank you for what you did with all of us with A Starting Point.
Oh, absolutely, man. It was an honor sending you a video. I'm a big fan.
No, it's really, it meant a lot to me. I was very low, and what you did for that kid warmed my heart in a way that hasn't happened for a long time. What a beautiful use of your influence. Good for you.
Well, that's you know, it's an honor to be able to shine a light on that little guy. What a hero.
But, you know, look, it's us at our best. You know, a kid, innocent, doing what they're supposed to do in the moment if they're at their best, and then guys like you with influence embracing that, heroizing it. That's the recipe for stronger fabric. So one of the things we deal with all the time that's a problem is how are people supposed to know what the hell is being thrown at them? The terms and the numbers and the phrases and the this and the sound bites. So you see this, you want to research something yourself one day, and you're like, there's too much information. How am I supposed to get through all this? You come up with a starting point. It was launched on July 14th. How was this the answer to what you encountered?
Well, I don't know if it's the answer, but it can certainly help. You know, I think the goal was to try and demystify some of the political landscape. You know, I think a lot of people are curious about politics, but are unsure where the way in is. You know, I think it's a daunting environment, and some people just turn off. And I think we need participation. The only way a functioning democracy can operate is with engagement.
So how does this work? How do I use it?
Well, there's 3 sections to it. The first section is called Starting Points, common questions with succinct answers from a spectrum of opinions. Then there's Daily Points, the second section, which is just 60-second videos on anything that a politician wants to discuss. And then the third section is Counterpoints, which is kind of a structured, focused debate between 2 elected officials around any issue they choose.
And the way you set it up originally, you asked them the questions, and we're hoping they would answer. Early on, you have all these funny anecdotes about how they thought it was a spoof, because what is Chris Evans doing asking me these questions? It must be a thing. And how do you get people to buy in? But you started to get traction. What kind of population you have on there now, and what's it like in terms of bipartisanship?
I think we got at least 170 elected officials, and our bipartisanship is pretty strong. I mean, that was the challenge initially, trying to get people who didn't know me and didn't know the mechanism, didn't know what we were trying to do, to trust us. So that was certainly an uphill battle. But again, it had a snowball effect. Every time we went to D.C. and every time someone left an interview and said, hey, that wasn't so bad, we say, please tell everybody. And slowly but surely, you know, our list of contributors every time we visited just grew and grew.
Now, are you going to keep doing the interviews, or what is your hope for the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of our main goals, being a self-funded organization, is that we want to be involved in the process. We want to make sure, one of our main tenets is to be objective. One of our main concerns is that a lot of people, as they read information online, question, what's the source, what's the bias, what's the agenda. So to stay true to this objectivity, to this transparency, I think we have to stay involved and kind of guide the ship.
I like that there's no likes, no dislikes, no comments.
Yeah.
That makes it very different already. Barriers to entry. First one is, a starting point as an acronym, ASP, the word, belies an Egyptian viper, like a cobra, and certainly politics can be like that. And people are like, I don't trust any of these people. They're just going to lie. What do you say to the people who say, I can't believe, I can't trust?
Well, you may not be able to believe or trust, but that doesn't change the fact that they're in office. They have power. They're voting on policy that affects your life. So to let distrust be the thing that creates disinterest will hurt you in the long run. So I'm not going to say that government is everything you want it to be all the time, but it's your civic duty to be engaged. And without that participation, the analogy I use is if you have a remote control and you only put one battery in, it doesn't work a little bit. It doesn't work at all. So a functioning democracy needs participation in order for an effective government to run.
How do you check what the politicians put out there on the videos?
Sure. Well, the first section, starting point, is the only one that we actually do fact checking on. Second section, daily points and counterpoints, is incumbent upon them to be honest as they would on any other social media platform. The first section, starting points, is what we consider a political dictionary, ostensibly. And that information we outsource to a company called Countable. They do our fact checking for us.
The other one will be personally, because it's you. They'll say, and forget the whole actor thing doesn't work for me. You're an actor, stick to acting. I don't believe that about any profession. You're as competent as you make yourself. You make the case, people will weigh it like anything else. And look, as you put in one of your answers to this question, or can there be issues downstream? Yeah, you got to sell movies, you got to sell tickets, and that's a risk like everybody takes. But in terms of how you want them to see your personal politics and how they do or don't fit in on this platform, what do you want them to know?
Well, then my goal in this is objectivity. My goal in this is about trying to provide information. It's almost an effort to try and return politics to people. I think people are bloodhounds now for being lied to by omission, being only shown one set of facts. And I think if you trust people and say, listen, this is all the information, here is a spectrum of opinion, where do you lie? I think we bend towards goodness. And I think right now we're just living in a time of really unprecedented conjecture. The internet is responsible for this proliferation of disinformation. So anything to try and combat that by getting information directly from the source in a fair, balanced way where everyone gets their own bite at the apple can only be a good thing in my opinion.
Your problem's going to be too handsome. I see you grew the beard. You're trying to hide the face. It doesn't work.
Well, you know how
You can't do my job looking like you. Listen, you're a beautiful guy. You did a very nice thing for me. You did a much more important thing for that kid. And what you put together with a starting point is the exact kind of tool of populism, letting people figure out things for themselves from the people in power. It is the perfect recipe. I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you're using your influence to promote it. You always have a platform here to do exactly that.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much. Chris Evans. The new site is online at astartingpoint.com.